Let's fix this really quickly. There we are. And game number 1 is here. Welcome you guys. TaToH versus ACCM. We're gonna see Hindustanis versus Chinese. Thus, TaToH will open up with archers actually. And ACCM is also going for the archer range. He got it delayed a little bit because of TaToH's aggression with the scout, but that's about it. Yeah, and then back home, TaToH's got the archer range up a little bit earlier. And the first few archers are already starting to pour in from Mr. TaToH, while ACCM on the other hand, well, he's got a few archers coming in as well. It's just a little bit later to production. There's a stable on the way for TaToH, so he'll start adding scouts into the mix, which I love to see. Archers and scouts, they're so good. While ACCM on the other hand, well, he's got just the archer range, and I don't see any extra production buildings at all. He does have fletching coming in though. TaToH on the other hand, he's decided to make the play for the stable over here, as opposed to saving the resource to go for anything else, although he could go right now if he wanted to for the same upgrades. And ACCM is already starting to put some pressure on the foot over there. Let's see if he can get the villager. I think he's getting the villager. I think this is going to be first blood, and he got the vill. Good unit positioning from TaToH as well, trying to intercept the scout's escape path with the archers, but ultimately could not land the shot. So in the end, ACCM is walking away with murder. Meanwhile, back home, he's got the second archer range already up. So full on archer production over here, while the bull player on the other hand, well, he does have the first few scouts coming out already. TaToH versus ACCM, this is a matchup that I realize some people will want to see for sure. ACCM, this is the first time that he makes it into, you know, a LAN Red Bull. And TaToH on the other hand, not so much. TaToH has already participated in Age of Empires in the Red Bull 5 edition, I believe. But anyway, there we go. So far, yeah, ACCM seems to be doing alright. He'll defend himself just fine. He's managed to get a nice villager lead as TaToH struggling to keep the TCs working. Plus he's lost the only villager that's died this game. So ACCM is ahead by 6 workers already, which is a lot. Absolutely amazing. He does begin with extra villagers and less resources, of course. So the idle TC time that you see from ACCM is quite natural. It's quite natural, actually. Something you get with Chinese every time. But TaToH, on the other hand, the LTC time from TaToH is really bad. Against Chinese, you cannot really afford to fall this far behind in LTC time. This is why ACCM maintains a 7 worker lead over TaToH. Absolutely ridiculous. Here we are. ACCM's been able to defend himself just fine for the most part. He's managed to get a better KD as well. Overall, military KD is 1-to-1. Well, not anymore. It's a little bit better for TaToH. But overall, KD is about the same right now because of the extra villager from ACCM. So, Castellation's on the way for the red player. If he's able to hold on against TaToH's push over here, it's going to be very similar to what we had in the last game of the previous set, where one player was able to go out to the Castle Age without really falling behind in terms of military too much, and this is mostly because of ACCM's extra villagers over here coming in clutch. So TaToH's trying to get an engagement over there, cannot really make it happen. Meanwhile, ACCM's defensive play over here is really good. It seems like TaToH might still, in the end up cleaning up the archers over here, but he will also end up losing a few scouts. Well done from ACCM. That's not losing 2 villages over there though, but the tower should be coming up. He's bringing extra villages into the mix. ACCM's done a good job of taking care of the archers for the most part. So now what we have left from TaToH to work with is skirmishers for the most part. It's got only 2 archers left over here and a few scouts. Scouts that he had left before were pretty low HP, so only 2 scouts with pretty decent HP at this point in time. Same worker count at this point in time for both players. ACCM's only about 25 seconds away from the castle age, so this is really good for him still. He's gonna keep on going for archers, and very soon we'll see the crossman upgrade and the blocking arrow upgrades as well. Nice quick wall from ACCM, man, on the wall line. Gets a beautiful quick wall as well. So TaToH cannot really do much of anything. He'll try to get a tower up next to the goal, but yeah, this tower I don't think is... It's got enough range, right? No. He can push some villages away from the left-hand side, especially with VLH upgrades only. Fletching will only allow him to push villages away from 3 tiles on the left-hand side of this goal, and then as long as ACCM is paying attention, he can just make a play for the right-hand side, right? And he's gonna be fine over there, so... TaToH so far has been unable to find anywhere near as much damage as I think he was hoping for. And now that ACCM's gotten to the castle age, we see knights on the way. He's going for the stables. Yes, sir. He's got 2 stables and no crossman or blocking arrow upgrades at all. It's just going to be full knight production over here. TaToH, on the other hand, with Hindustan, he does have one of the best civilizations to counter full-on cavalry pushes, but he needs to get to the castle age for that. And it's still kind of juggling his economy to try and get the resources he needs to even click up. Meanwhile, ACCM managed to get ahead in working count once again. The villages are going down from TaToH forward. Doesn't seem like the tower is going to survive over here for very long. Here we are. Beautiful. Very good defense over here for ACCM, even if he ends up losing most of the knights. And wow, Mihwa! Thanks so much for the Prime Gaming sub. 6 months total, 2-month streak. It's very much appreciated. Prime Gaming is so good. It's coming in free for you guys, and it's so good for me. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you for the extended support, Mihwa. I hope that I'm saying that right, by the way. Anyway, we'll see Elite Skirmisher on the way for ACCM, and TaToH. Well, TaToH's managed to click out to the castle age in the end, finally. Well, ACCM still has some knights left to work with. He's going forward. Might be able to get some villages down over here, but he's got to be careful. Yeah, and his economy is kind of, you know, shaking a little bit. There you go, nice villager pick over here. Good unit control from ACCM. He's got another knight on the way, so if he plays his cards right, might be able to get some extra villager picks over here. But he also has to play defensive, as he's got these units from TaToH to take care of. But he's done a good job. Now that he's got elite skirmishers, he can take the villagers, and he shouldn't really struggle to defend against the spearmen and the skirmishers from TaToH. So well played. Overall, ACCM is still very much in the lead. Even if he's behind the military count, he's managed to hold on to his worker lead. He's got the second TC already up and the third TC is on the way, so if he wants to play for economy, he should be in a good position to do so. And with Chinese, he's got a civilization that's gonna benefit from a strong economy, as he's got a very open tech tree. He's got a very versatile civilization that can make transitions to pretty much any unit line they want. So having a strong economy is going to facilitate that. While TaToH, on the other hand, he doesn't need quite a strong economy to go for what Hindustanis go for, but it's a very predictable composition for them of camels, and depending on what ACCM goes for, potentially hand cannoneer. So ACCM does have some room over here to adapt, to improvise. We'll see what he goes for. While TaToH currently, he's got chain, barred and armor on the way. Because when upgrades coming in for ACCM. Second TC on the way for TaToH. So much later though. And this is just playing catch up, of course. You are so much later to the Castle Age, going for extra economy when your opponent's been going for it. Since earlier it's just... Well, I don't want to say it's futile. TaToH will still get the extra villagers and he still pays fewer resources for them. But it's extremely difficult to make work. My experience casting is just... I would say probably 4 times out of 5 not worked. So ACCM is in a pretty good spot over here. And if TaToH does not go for aggression, then ACCM is just going to get it with a much stronger economy, a faster Imperial Age time, and potentially, you know, access to earlier Arbalesters or Cavalier, whatever ACCM wants to go for from the Imperial Age is going to be so much stronger compared to anything that TaToH's got available in the Castle Age anyway. Here we are, the camels are coming out right now from TaToH. Knights will not cut it from ACCM anymore. Fortunately, he can just bail back because unlike TaToH, ACCM, if he just falls back and relaxes, is gonna be fine because TaToH's got just camels to raid with over here, not the best unit. Even if in the sense they do get 25% faster attack, this is still not a unit you're gonna want to use around TCs for too long. So he might be able to get some good damage done with these camels if he find some exposed economy, but right now that is not the case. Hey Misha, the RBWL just started? Today, yes, it started today. This is the 4th set that we are casting. 4 out of 6 for today. So we are just starting the second half. There we are, wheelbarrows coming in for ACCM as well. Wonderful. There's a counter-strike coming in from ACCM. Finds one villager, gets pushed away by a Manuel, but should be able to get the oh, he didn't see the monk over there, by the looks of it. Rip. Either that. Oh, I think he saw the monk, but he guessed that TaToH would try to just round the forest over there, and he does end up sniping one monk. The other monk's still alive though. And the third disease coming out for TaToH, but once again, ACCM significantly ahead already with 23 additional workers. See? Nice mango shot. Let's see if ACCM will be able to clutch it up. Good mango shot from TaToH as well. Right hand side though, as it seems ACCM's units on the left hand side are pretty much dead. We're switching focus to see what the red players got going against TaToH for the second wave of units. Actually, you know what? He did end up getting cleaned up for the most part. Just the one. 2 crosses over here left, rather, for ACCM, and he does bring a few knights into the mix and is able to get a Manuel down. So that's already pretty cost effective for him. Loses 1 knight, but does get a Manuel down. Fantastic pressure from ACCM. Making a play for camels himself. Remember, once again, Chinese extremely versatile and open tech tree allows for ACCM to go for pretty much anything he wants to over here. And he can make a transition over here. From knights to camels, camels to knights, he's going from camels to knights right now once again. And he's pretty much always been going for crossbow, so he's got a pretty diverse mix of army for the meat shield. And then the crosses from behind are going to just shred everything else. Plus, a forward castle is on the way now from ACCM. He's got still 6 workers on stone, so he'll be able to go for a second castle in the not too distant future, rather. We'll see the Crossos taking the mantle down over there. The Camel's taking the mantle down over there. The castle coming up, and ACCM is getting away with murder here as TaToH calls it GG. ACCM takes game number 1. Fantastic. Let's take a look at... What am I doing here? Let's take a look at the achievements. What do we get? We'll see for military. A better KD for TaToH towards the end of the game. Doesn't matter? Probably not, because the economy was so much stronger for ACCM. It's one of those situations where if you're falling behind in military, you want to... Sorry, in economy, you want to stay ahead in military and get a better KD, so you offset for the stronger economy of your opponent before it becomes an issue, right? But ACCM ultimately ended up collecting well over 25% extra resources compared to TaToH, or close to it. Actually, not quite as much, but about 5,000 extra resources total, with also a much higher worker max count over here of 28 extra workers compared to TaToH's max point as well. Remarkable. Well done. There we go. And thus, welcome everyone to game number 2, ACCM 1, TaToH Neil. GamerLegion struggling, at the very least, with TaToH over here for game number 1. We'll see what we get for game number 2. For the time being, though, TaToH is playing with Bulgarians. This is at the Kama, so it makes sense. And ACCM is playing with Franks. We were talking about the civilizations before. Franks, given the civilizations that TaToH's got available, do make sense over here, very much so. In any case, here we are. We have Minotaurs over here from TaToH as he gets militia upgrades for free. He does not have to pay for the Minotaurs upgrade, and he's just going to have the units ready to use. This is very interesting because it's not something you usually see on Empire Wars, mainly because you lack mobility, and Empire Wars is so much about that. Unless you already have a map in which you start kind of close to each other, such as the Bull, for instance. But this is not the case. In Atacama, you're not guaranteed to start particularly close to your opponent, so it's very interesting to see TaToH go for this. Regardless, though, he does force a reaction as ACCM is making a play now for the archer ranges. The one archer range first. That is after having gone for 5 scouts, or 4 scouts in addition to the original one. While TaToH, on the other hand, well, he does have the stable up himself as well. So it's not just Minotaurs, but it's also going to be scouts, just that he's taking a little bit longer to go into it compared to ACCM. Red player does already have 1 spearman, TaToH's got 4. So he should be fine defending against ACCM's push, while ACCM, well, he's going to struggle. The spearman just died to the Minotaurs, and now he's bringing the scouts. He's gonna try and force the engagement as he's got the villagers over here to work with as well. He does not pushing the Minotaurs away, but TaToH does a really good job. We're getting a lot of availability time over there out of ACCM, but now ACCM's fantastic unit control. He will end up cleaning up the Minotaurs, doesn't end up losing the scouts over there, but he did bait the Minotaurs for long enough for them to get completely chunked by the rest of the scouts. Beautiful. Here we go. Overall, pretty well played. for Mr. TaToH. He's defended himself masterfully. He's managed to get some water control on the left-hand side, although ACCM has managed to get water control up in the north. Yeah, and he's got the pressure coming up over here. ACCM's going to struggle. That's one villager down for ACCM, the second so far. 3 villagers dead for the red player. Make that 4. Yes, sir. That is starting to slowly but surely, steadily build a small lead against ACCM. Here we are. ACCM's defense is going to suffice for the time being. But TaToH, he's got the mobility, he's got the numbers, he can roam around and he will. ACCM's for the most part just going to be stuck playing defensive over here. Now that is some good hits over there on the scouts though, for free. TaToH keeps on roaming around. Yeah, and ACCM is going for a defensive tower, a second defensive tower over here. He spots TaToH's forward tower, so he tries to rush one up himself, and he's going to get this tower up for sure. So TaToH is probably gonna have to bail from here. I mean, he can stick around and he can get some villagers down like he's doing right now, but he's taking a lot of damage. Still seems to be worth it though. Yeah, that's 2 villagers going down and a lot of idle villager time from ACCM. If it weren't because of the sheer amount of units TaToH had to work with over there, he would definitely not have been able to get away with it. But in keeping the army safe and keeping the numbers high, TaToH finds himself able to take advantage of situations he would not have been able to otherwise. Now we might see another villager going down over there. Not quite. Good reaction from ACCM. He does bring the spearman into the mix. And it seems like the tower is going down from TaToH. It doesn't matter though. With this one, he already got what he needed. A reaction from ACCM, and he was still able to get some villages down over here. So, guess what? TaToH will be the first player going out to the Castle Age by quite a lot. And he's managed to already build a 6-worker, 5-worker lead over ACCM currently. He's got 2 pawns while ACCM's got only 1 as well. So the efficient ship count certainly helping over here quite a lot. As TaToH did have a little bit of extra TC time, for instance. Regardless though, it's even better than what it seems by just the numbers, because if you take a look at TaToH's eco upgrades, he does have wheelbarrow. He did not go for double bit axe or horse collar, but he is going for double bit axe right now, and with both that and wheelbarrow, his economy is going to be so much stronger compared to ACCM's, and the red player does manage to scrap enough resources together to go out to the Castle Age himself. However, TaToH will be there significantly sooner. How much so? It's a difference of about 38 seconds, so maybe it's not too massive. But it will be enough for him to go for extra TCs earlier to get ahead in extra worker creation, for instance. But given the civilization he's got right now with Bulgarians, I would definitely prefer for TaToH to instead try and make a play for the Castle Age instead and just try to seal the game over there. Pranks are going to scale so much better to later stages of the game, so if TaToH wanted to make a play for economy, he will be risking allowing ACCM to come back into the game. So I think TaToH's got to just kick it up a notch and ramp it up even further. Once he gets to the Castle Age, just go for full pressure. So we have Minotaurs coming out for TaToH. He's been collecting some stone. He's got 5 stone mines, so we might see a Krepos coming up eventually as well. There's remaining scouts gonna do too much around gold mine from ACCM. And ACCM, he cannot really do too much around anywhere near TaToH's base. as he's just being confined to playing defensive for the past, well, what is that, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, probably more than that. Regardless though, TaToH's got knights on the way. I love to see this. He's got double stable knight production, so it's great that he's going for the second TC, which I am not necessarily against. 2 TCs is alright. Should be able to go for knight production still. But I still think that TaToH's got to try and focus mostly on military pressure over here as opposed to economy. So second TC is fine. A third TC I think will be too much. Unless it was just for defensive purposes and just to try and get some map control. Regardless though, ACCM's got into the castle edge himself and he's going to start going for knights himself too. He does have double stable production too. Monastery comes out for ACCM. Nice. Less pressure from ACCM as well. Doesn't that pushing TaToH away? Yeah, but TaToH's looking so much stronger, you know? He does have a 30C on the way. I still do not really agree with that decision, but ACCM, he's so far behind the work count that I think TaToH might actually end up getting away with it. You know, you get to a point where you have done so much damage, and after 15 villager kills from TaToH, he might feel confident enough to go for pretty much anything he wants. So he can make a play for economy despite the fact that I do not think is necessarily the best choice for this matchup in this age. But in this particular position, in this particular game, it seems like TaToH's just going to get away with it. Beautiful. Mining camp on the way for TaToH. He was already collecting stones, so now, with the extra stone, he'll be able to go for crepos very soon. Poor TC for TaToH! Are you kidding me? Iron Castle on the way for the Bull player as well. How does ACCM come back from a position like this? I wish I had the answers for you. Fortunately, I do not. As ACCM, he had 2 choices upon getting to the castle age. Play for economy or for military. If he had gone for economy, that would have been extremely risky because of all the damage that he's taken, plus the fact that TaToH had got into the castle age earlier. If ACCM had not taken anywhere near as much damage, then yeah, sure, go for extra TCs and just try to play for the late game where Franks really shine in this particular matchup, but not like this. Let's see. Castle's coming out for ACCM and TaToH. TaToH's got the resources to go for a Krepos. He's going to drop one right next to the castle. We'll see if this is enough range for the Krepos to target the castle. It seems like it's going to be, and ACCM bails from here. The engagement's strong. But TaToH will ultimately be the one getting away with center control, even if he ends up getting pushed away by ACCM over here. And ACCM will try to relocate the castle instead towards the south. It's a very interesting position. But TaToH's unit control over here, he gets a gate just in the right place to prevent the castle from coming up and forces ACCM to go for a castle elsewhere. Damn, boy. There we are. Yeah, I mean, a lot of villagers went down trying to get the castle up over here, and even if ACCM gets away with it, I don't think is in a position to really do much of anything with it. Quite clearly, it's not for throwing X-Men, it's just for map control. Problem is that it doesn't really have the means to keep the castle up and to go up to the Imperial Age anytime soon. Well, TaToH, on the other hand, is already over 100 population, should be easily able to go to the Imperial Age much earlier compared to ACCM. And of course, given the strong amount of stone miners that we see from TaToH, he's gonna be on his way to the Imperial Age with a castle most likely, so that means trebuchets. Very simple. ACCM on the other hand, not particularly close, not particularly close. One thing's for sure though, this game does seem to be favoring TaToH quite a bit more, so that means most likely we'll end up on a full series, which I always love to see. If that's the case though, we'll see what we get for the tiebreaker. Conversions on the way now from ACCM as well. Manages to convert one of the connects. Bold monks go down over there in the end. Extra TC's on the way for ACCM. Once again though, he's just playing catch up, as TaToH is still on 4. Well done. Here we go. Yeah, beautiful crap was over here from TaToH. Basically prevents ACCM from getting full center control over here uncontested. Well, the game's looking pretty much over. There's no way to sugarcoat this. TaToH on 124 population. He's got twice the military count compared to ACCM and over twice the worker count compared to ACCM. 128 to 60 population total for TaToH and ACCM respectively. Does TaToH go for herbal medicines as well? Not an upgrade that you see every day, but one that might be quite handy for the blue player depending on what the HP of his army is. He's got a castle coming up forward, and he's got enough resources to go for yet another castle. A TaToH upgrade? Where is he going to drop the next castle though? That's the question. Yeah, ACCM calls it GG. Well, this was kind of long due. Sadly, the score over there, 1-1. And taking a look at the achievements before hopping into what's going to be the final game of the series, we'll see TaToH with a better than 4-3 KD ratio, in spite of the fact that he was so far ahead in economy. In addition to that, for society, there's also a stronger society stat over here for TaToH, and that is not particularly close. 113 to 53 villager max count. So 62 additional villagers at the end of the game of 113 and 51 for TaToH and ACCM respectively. It was just going to be downhill from here. This might be the first time that I see in a while a better than 66% villager distribution for one of the players. The economy was not quite as good, of course, for TaToH, but was eventually going to get there. Well played! And there we are. TaToH, he's playing with Dravidians. ACCM, he's playing with Cumans. 2 stables from the get-go from ACCM. This is something that Cumans can't get away with, because you do get a 75 wood discount on military buildings or archer ranges and stables. Cumans will be able to go for the double stable opening, but TaToH seems like he's going to spot it right away. Meanwhile, ACCM, he's already sent the scout forward and he's getting scouting information. He notices the archer range is coming out from TaToH. He does not see a second one, of course. That is not something that's immediately available to most civilizations, but because Dravidians do get 200 additional wood, we will see a second archer range coming out from TaToH as well. So it's pretty interesting as well. Basically, ACCM saved 150 resources from, you know, going for this. While TaToH ended up saving 175. Not really saving, sorry. He does end up getting 200 extra resources. That's going to be 50 extra resources he still has over what ACCM has saved so far. Of course, that will change the moment ACCM goes for an additional building, and he does have an archer range over here. So if we see TaToH go for a stable in addition to both these archer ranges, or a third archer range, then that's going to start favoring ACCM by about 25 resources or so. So you can see it's not quite simple. And there's a second archer range on the way for ACCM. No additional DCs, interestingly enough, though. But he's got the scouts. They're coming forward. They cannot do any damage over here. TaToH's got the defensive spearman already in place. Let's get him at hand. Here we go. Beautiful. We have scouts, we have skirmishers, we have archers on the way for ACCM. You name it, he's got it. And he's getting to the back wood line from TaToH, but he cannot really do too much over here. Good reaction from TaToH as well, taking on the weak scout right away, and then the remaining scout from ACCM cannot really do too much. So far, both players have been able to defend just fine. TaToH is the only player who's been able to get villagers down so far. Even with just 2. But that'll be enough for him to get a 2 worker lead over ACCM, so it's still quite a juicy lead. Still on the way for ACCM. Wow! An extra stable. 3 stables for ACCM. He's just going to stick to full fuel age push over here. And TaToH's producing from both his archer ranges. And that's about it. At the very least, the production potential for ACCM is coming in quite cheaply. While TaToH, on the other hand, if he wanted to increase production, well, he's going to end up paying more resources. But for the time being, the double archer range play works. He does have spearing into the mix as well, so it's going to be 2 archer ranges and the barracks that TaToH's producing from, while ACCM right now, he's kind of struggling to keep production going from more than 3 buildings at a time. It's understandable with this economy. Only 40 workers. ACCM's going for archers, he's going for scouts, he's going for villagers. He won't be saving any resources to go out to the castle age anytime soon, while TaToH, on the other hand, he's getting very close. He's so close. Notice ACCM is catching up and surpassing TaToH on a military count. So this is a chance for ACCM to go forward and try and get some damage done over here. TaToH's just trying to utilize the resources he's getting towards going out to the castle age. He'll be exposed to potential raids until he does get to the castle age, especially if ACCM is just going to stick to full fuel-ish production, right? So we see Bloodlines coming in for ACCM. He already had forging, he already had scale rather than armor. Fletching and padded archer armor means that ACCM's range units are also fully upgraded for what they can be in the castle age. And though that TaToH's got the resource to go up to the castle age, and he's got the buildings, he was paying attention to the defense over here and could not click up as fast as he could have, but he does still end up cleaning up most of ACCM's units. So this is really well played. Despite the fact that TaToH clicks up later, he does find himself in a much better position. Clicking up later than he could have anyway. Yeah, he prioritized defending. He got away with it. And now he's gonna be rewarded because of it. As long as he's able to defend until he gets to the castle edge, he should be fine, but because of the engagement he took was so favorable, ACCM doesn't really have too much left to work with to go forward and put pressure with. Plus, TaToH even has the fortification over here, this tower, making it pretty difficult for ACCM to approach TaToH's economy around this side. Looks like almost GG, full castle H up. Well, ACCM is going out to the castle H in a moment as well. Usually, next stage, GG doesn't happen when the other player is also on his way up. But we can all agree that this is looking pretty grim for ACCM for sure. Or at the very least, TaToH's done a really good job keeping up and building on his lead. And there we go. He gets to the castle edge, but ACCM is on his way there. Got an upgrade for TaToH on the way. Bosa. I like the aggression from the red player, but it seems kind of futile at this point. Well, he'll try. The game's not over just yet. TaToH's not particularly ahead in worker count. Like, if you take a look, he's fallen behind going out to the castle edge, despite the fact that he was the only player who had gotten villagers up until that point. ACCM still manages to clutch it up. Gets less idle TC time compared to TaToH, so he does catch up in worker count quite a bit. And now it seems like by the time ACCM gets to the castle edge, military count and worker count will be pretty much neck and neck. So ACCM has managed to crawl back into this one, even though it seemed as if TaToH should have been able to get game already. Alright, ACCM's buying some stone to get a defensive tower up. Yeah, right next to the wool line. Just wants to make sure TaToH does not freely access the wool line over there and gets the villagers down. Here we go. Yeah, now Castle Edge is here for both players. Chain bar than armor on the way for ACCM. Who would have thought this player would have been able to get to the Castle Edge in the first place? And with almost the same worker count at that. But ACCM's managed to pull it off. The double stable, actually he does have triple stable, but he can only produce from 2 at a time because of his economy. He does have knights. While TaToH, well, TaToH's just gonna keep on going for crosses. This might be the opportunity that ACCM needed to come back into this game. We'll see. TaToH's kiting. He's trying to get to the choke point over here, and he's gonna get there. If ACCM had a mantle over here to work with, that would have been ideal. But of course, TaToH doesn't that. Getting away with the better trade, I would say. Here we go. Elephantos! We have the armor elephant coming in for TaToH. Let's see. Going after the tower right away. ACCM's paying attention, so he reacts in time. He's fine. It should be a-okay. Fantastic, tower crumbles. In the ACCM gets pushed away from this area. He does still have some workers around the right hand side. He's gotta be careful. TaToH realizes about it. Could be catastrophic. Let's take a look at TaToH's point of view. Here we go. Beautiful. ACCM doesn't that clean out TaToH's units over there, but that's not the end of it, of course. TaToH did have another group of units moving forward with the elephant, crossbows, the skirmishers, the pikemen. TaToH's army is really diverse and very hard to counter with a single unit type, so ACCM will need an army composition of himself, of his own right, and he's going to need also pretty good control. Pretty good unit control if he is ever hoping to get something good out of this. Here goes TaToH. Beautiful. ACCM is holding on over here really well, even though TaToH is slowly but surely gaining a larger and larger lead against ACCM. Namely, now he's got the 4th TC on the way, while ACCM is still sticking to 1 TC. Unfortunately for the red player though, he's behind the military count, and once again, you do not want to be behind by both things. So while things are looking pretty bleak for ACCM, they're still some ways off from TaToH closing the deal over here, still in the deal over here, so there is always potential for a comeback from ACCM. Just like Atacama, 4 TCs versus 1. Yeah. But of course, the possibility of a comeback over here is going to be directly tied to ACCM's military production and his ability to keep his army safe. And right now, it's been a big struggle. Still, 19 military units, and now TaToH is going for a 4th siege workshop. ACCM has not managed to stop TaToH full on and push back. Now that pressure is going to ramp up from the Bull player, it seems like ACCM might find himself in a little bit of a pickle. Like an arrows on the way for ACCM as well. Pretty good push over here from TaToH as well. There's the problem though, because ACCM does not have a decidedly stronger military count over here compared to TaToH. When he goes forward, oh, that was a great shot from TaToH's Mangonel. But yeah, the problem is that whenever ACCM goes forward, he's left defenseless back home. So TaToH can potentially get the counter rates going, right? But so far, TaToH's been focusing on defending himself, and that's allowed ACCM to keep on going a little bit longer. Now we'll see how much longer this can go for. Right hand side to Magnus from TaToH. It's ramping pressure up. Left hand side. ACCM's let's call it forward forces, it's forward army. The only thing he's got right now that could potentially bring him back into the game. They are just trying to breach through a house, and this is just taking so long, man. The house is not going down, and now ACCM, he does find exposed economy from TaToH up in the north, though. This is good. More like this is what ACCM needs. 10 villages down to these knights so far, and that might not be the end of it as well. If ACCM plays his cards right, he should be able to find more villages over here, at the very least sustain this army a little bit further, and he does end up getting a few extra villages, so well done. Is that enough, though? That was the question. Beautiful. ACCM's pressure is nice to look at, but it's unfortunately not very effective and not particularly efficient either, as TaToH's going to ultimately end up cleaning up these knights with the TC in the tower. ACCM's only hope now lies on the 4 military that he's got left, which is unfortunately comprised of only 9 skirmishers, as even the knight has gone down, and it seems like this is the end of it, guys. ACCM has effectively run out of army, he's effectively run out of steam, and even though he does have more pikemen on the way, or more skirmishers, sorry, not pikemen, and more knights on the way, his production is just so small. While TaToH, on the other hand, he's got plenty of units to defend himself against ACCM's potential for push. Plus, he'll be on his way to the Imperial Age very soon as well. Here we go. Castle was coming out for TaToH, but he doesn't end up getting pushed away. It's fine. He does have the pikemen. Once again, he does have the defenses he needs against whatever ACCM wants to go for plus. Many of the units he had left as well were forward. Getting some good damage done over here and pushing ACCM's already meager economy into heavier inactivity. And this is bad. This is bad. ACCM, he's got 11 out of 50 villagers completely exposed on the back, and he calls her GG, as TaToH is just too strong for ACCM to take on. TaToH ends up reversing the series over here with a final score of 2-1 for the 4th and final opening set of the day. The 5th set is going to be the winners matchup, the first winners matchup. Let's take a look at the achievements. What do we get? We're gonna have a better KD for TaToH for sure. He does end up getting a better than 8 to 7 KD ratio. When taking a look at economy, on the other hand, we're gonna see also a stronger economy for TaToH by quite a lot. He does end up collecting about 8,000 extra resources, which is about 33% stronger economy compared to ACCM, who couldn't even get to 24,000. So well done. TaToH does end up taking the series back over here, and ACCM, he looked great in game number 1, but ultimately could not really sustain it to finish taking the series over here. So let's just go back, and we're gonna wait for the winner matchups, see what we